Do you point out principles in your homeschool?
I do.
So when I say principles, what are you thinking about when I say, do you teach principles?
Okay. So what is a principle is basically what you're asking.
What is a principle?
Yeah.
When I ask you that question, what comes to your mind for principles? Because when you're teaching biology, there's the principle of this, the principle of evolution, the principle of, metamorphosis, whatever. There's a lot of different principles.
Yeah.
And those aren't, those are one kind of principle. But what principles are you thinking about?
Okay.
And then,
Yeah, good question. So I think of principles the way Elder Scott defined them, as small packages of doctrine. They're doctrine packaged as application. So then you have to know what an application is and what a doctrine is, right? So a doctrine is a general truth given to us by the prophets or by God or the scriptures. And a principle is something that is a general truth breaking off from that. And it's packaged for application. So it's not an application. So it's not going to church is not a principle. But life is sacred is a principle.
okay.
Right? So that's the type of principle I'm talking. I want my children to look through, like we're reading Bambi right now. And I want them, as we're reading Bambi, I want you to say, okay, pull out the principles that you're learning here. Yeah, because he was like one of the places that he was really curious, and he just asked 100 questions to his
Who's
mom.
he?
Bambi.
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 I have never read the book, and nor have I
okay.
even seen the movie.
Oh,
I just
okay.
have the basic understanding that he gets killed, or his mom gets killed. Is that a
You
spoiler?
just gave it away! Yeah, but there's so much more to learn in Bambi. I mean, really, he's born into a forest, and as he's born in the forest, he wakes up and he's just curious about everything. Like, who made this path, Mom? And where did the path? What do we mean, deer? Are there other deer like us? Are we deer? Just curious, just constantly asking questions. And then there's this whole paragraph on why questions. And he just keeps asking these questions. He goes, I love asking my mom questions. Sometimes I feel like she's holding things back, and sometimes I feel like she's giving me the full truth. And then sometimes I feel like she's probably annoyed with my questions. And sometimes she gives me negative answers.
And probably all of those are true.
Yeah. And then sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she just gives me partial answers, but that's okay. And it doesn't even matter, because I love asking questions. It doesn't matter the answer. And so we stopped, and I said, okay, so let's talk about questions then. Do you guys ask questions? What kinds of questions do you guys have right now? And what kind of principle can we pull from that? And my little kid, my little 6-year-old, he says, well, I think the principle there is questions are good. No matter what they are.
Well, obviously he got the message.
Yeah, exactly.
And pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was pretty excited. Yeah, questions are good. That's
kid.
a great way to say it.
He's a sharp kid.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of what makes him remind me of me.
You're so sharp. So another principle story that I can remember is President Packer gave a story one time where he's talking about his little boy feeding his kitten. And so he just gotten a kitten. It was so exciting. And he brings the kitten in, and he has a bowl of milk for him. And he's got everything's ready for it. And the cat just walks over to it, but he doesn't take it. And so the boy thinks, well, I've got to do something about this, right? So he picks up the cat, and he puts it upside down, and he dips the cat's head into the milk. And President Packer walks in going, what the heck's going on? So he likens that to principles. He says, we had all the right ingredients. A very excited boy, a hungry kitten, the milk that was in a bowl, everything was there except for the wrong principles, right? The principle was not, the correct principles were not being utilized here. So then he sat down with this boy and taught him, say, you got to let the cat come to it itself, and you have to stay away and watch the cat come and drink, because he won't drink the milk when he just stuck his head into it. So that's how I see principles too, is just like, let's learn a principle by seeing, like having all the great ingredients there, but then let's utilize the right principles.
That's a great story, because what the principle that I immediately took from that is the same idea of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can lead a kitty cat to milk, but you can't. Force. And you could do the same thing with your own kids, and you can take them to church and say, "You will do this." And it's not necessarily. You may get them to church, but they have to make that decision to drink the milk or to drink the living water.
Hey, very good.
But they may be there, and that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
Is you get them there, and you know what? Children are going to do what they're going to do,
Yeah.
and they're going to learn what they're going to learn. You have no control over that. All you have is control over what you teach. What they learn is up to them.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of, in my mind, that's what I got out of the story about that kitten had a lot of milk.
Yeah.
On him.
Yeah.
But
not
it
in him.
It didn't nourish him any.
Yeah.
And the same, which is also why a lot of times you'll see stories of, or you'll hear stories of, it's the pastor's kid, it's the bishop's kid, it's, that is the troublemaker.
Yeah.
To be notified of our newest YouTube videos, be sure to click the subscribe button here. Head over to our new website for the latest gifts and promotions. For more videos like this one, click this playlist here.